I embarked on a county-to-county tour of this country under the banner of Ukatiba Caravan. Our mission was twofold. One, to first of all go to the Kenyans, come to you Kenyans, and listen to you, and hear your aspirations, and hear your frustrations, as the Kenyan people. You can't lead people you don't understand. You can't lead people whose issues you don't understand. Secondly, we also came out to encourage and sensitize Kenyans, particularly the youth, to register as voters. The caravan took us to every corner of this land. By 28th of April this year, we had traversed 43 counties out of 47. I am happy to know that our efforts, alongside other campaigns such as the youth-led Tukokadi movement, contributed to over 2.6 million registering as new voters. I want to thank the Kenyan people, particularly the young people, for registering. That is the power involved in your hands, and we are sure we are going to use it very well. In these tours, we met farmers, we met pastoralists. We sat down with women in markets. We met men at locality sheds. We listened to border operators at the dusty stages. We went and met the fish folk on the shores of our lakes. We encountered ordinary Kenyans fighting every single day with great dignity to put food on the table. What we saw and heard filled us with immense pride. Our people have refused to surrender to despair. Despite the grinding conditions they have been plunged into, the resilience we saw, that hard work we saw from our people, tells you of the true character of the Kenyan people. We are a hard-working people, very, very hard-working people. Our mothers, our sisters, our brothers, especially in the villages, wake up very, very early. I saw that from my late mother. I mean, going to the shamba when it was still at dusk. And that's what the Kenyans are doing even now. But we also had stories that should trouble every Kenyan of conscience. From major cities to the smallest markets that we visited, Kenyans told us about 5 painful realities with remarkable consistency. They told us about the disregard of the rule of law. They told us about state capture and corruption, which you have repeated here. I'm happy you have repeated it here. They told us about a ravaged economy. They told us about youth unemployment, and they told us about the collapse of service delivery, particularly in health and education. Wananchi plainly told us that government officials, right from the presidency down to the lowest administrative levels, have no respect for our law. They cherry-pick the provisions of the Constitution to implement, and to what extent to implement those provisions. They recall with grief the killing and maiming of our young people during the Gen Z protest of June and July 2024, and told us what that confirmed of the present government. They told us that the political class have little regard for human life. They told us that the political class do not respect good orders. They just ignore them with impunity. They told us that government documents, these days they don't know which one to trust. Even title deeds, some of them are not what the papers they are printed on. They told us that public services especially health and education, as I've said, have broken down completely. Throughout the country, the counties we visited, wananchi were quite clear in their minds. In fact, from everywhere, there is not one station we went to where wananchi did not raise issues. They said, corruption has reduced them to beggars in their own country. The extractive system has stripped millions of Kenyans of their dignity and their humanity, to the extent that one Mzee Ombui Orandi, a man nearly 100 years old, was trampled upon and killed when he was scrambling for 200 shillings that was being given by a local MP in Kisii, just shortly before President Ruto went to that area. You know, that's how this government works. You go to the area, pour money, and people come. Before he goes, he has his henchmen who give money. And we have seen that those who come from Nyamira and Kisii, you have seen people lining up and being given money. This Mzee was trampled upon and died. 200 shillings was the value of that elder man. That tells you the depth to which we are falling. At one of the stops we visited, a visibly angry young man stood up, and when he was given a microphone and asked what he would like the Maraga government to do for Kenyans, he utters two words. Two words. Funga Ruto. And they sat down. Wananchi told us that businesses have closed because there is no money in circulation. The escalation of fuel prices has confused quite a number of our people. They cannot understand how fuel can be cheaper in Uganda and yet it is being transported through Kenya. In Busia, the border operators told us that they are not buying fuel in Kenya anymore. They just go with the jerrycans through Banya routes and buy fuel from Uganda where it is cheaper. In Marisabit, we met quite a number of border operators. Two of them told us they have taken fuel, petrol in the morning for their operations as they normally do. At that time it was about 3 p.m. They told us they had not earned anything and they didn't know how they were going to pay for the fuel they had taken in the morning.